the end of an era for the hometown kid. Seeing all those pictures of Trent Alexander-Arnold when he was young, he looks like the exact same. Anyway, here's his career resume with Liverpool: 23 goals and 86 assists in 352 appearances across all competitions. He won 8 trophies, including 2 Premier League titles and 1 Champions League title, and he had 64 Premier League assists, second most all time by a defender. Now we await to see what is coming next. What kind of guy is Real Madrid perhaps getting in Trent Alexander-Arnold?
If it's Real Madrid, and let's be honest, Ali, it looks like it's going to be, they'll be getting somebody who is a total professional, somebody who's dedicated himself, his life to the game, somebody who doesn't shy away from criticism. He likes to be pushed. He likes to develop his game. We've seen the way he has changed the role that he plays from a traditional fullback, if you like, advancing into midfield, and somebody who's not afraid to try something different as well. So, look, all round, they're getting a top-class defender, a top-class footballer, and from what I know of him, a top-class individual as well. So whoever Trent Alexander signs for, and as I say, it's likely to be Real Madrid, from everything we're hearing, then there's a really, really good footballer there.
Who do you think is going to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold now?
Well, obviously, Conor Bradley, you could describe as the heir apparent. It was interesting how the Liverpool fans cheered him loudly when he came on yesterday against Chelsea. He's shown promise. He is a youngster. He's a more, if you like, he's a completely different type of player to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Whether or not they would need more backup beyond him, probably would, but they might look at, say, I mean, Joe Gomez has been so unlucky with injuries, but he can play out on the right, as can others as well. Whether or not they feel they need to dive into the market to replace Trent, I would doubt. I would have thought that Arne Slot will feel he's got enough already at the club to cover that position.
It's been the contract saga of the ages. I can't remember the contract saga like this in the Premier League ever, and you've been covering it a lot longer than I have. So Liverpool managed to keep 2 of the big 3, in Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk. Can this be seen as a success, or will this be seen as a success long-term, that they did that?
If you said to Liverpool, and perhaps their fans, out of the 3, if you can only keep 2, which 2 would you keep? I think they probably would have said the other 2. Obviously, Mo Salah for his goals. That's virtually impossible to replace. He's fit. He can still keep doing it for a couple of seasons. And so to Virgil as well. So it's not easy to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold. Of course it isn't. But I think he's the one they can cope with his departure the best of the 3. But of course, in an ideal world, they wouldn't have lost any of them. They'd have kept all 3. Liverpool did offer him a contract. They would have liked Trent Alexander-Arnold to have stayed, but he's looking for pastures new. He's looking for a new experience, and that's why he's gone. And realistically, if that is in somebody's mind, then I don't think it's about money. I don't think it's necessarily about what you can offer him. It's about new experiences in life and new experiences in a challenge of his career.
Geoff, one of the things, or in this package that Arne Slot has put together this season that he's kind of been lauded for, was the conservative spend, quiet transfer window in which he managed to traverse this season with. Do you think that this will be a big summer market for Liverpool in terms of just creating depth outside of their key players they already have? Will they be looking for a left back? What do you sense?
I think they will look for a left back. I think they will also look for a striker more than anything else, and perhaps one more midfield player, possibly. I definitely think they'll enter the market. And Liverpool tend to identify long-term targets. So I think they'll know who they want and who they can get from behind the scenes. And of course, there'll be some departures as well. But it's an incredible achievement to only have had Chiesa as your only addition to win the title. Is absolutely phenomenal business by Liverpool. So, you know, if you like, they've kept the war chest back, haven't they? Knowing perhaps this summer, once they knew what they'd got, what they had to replace or didn't, they can spend their money a little bit more wisely. I think they will spend. I think they will be a very attractive as well. I mean, Liverpool is a huge club. We know that. The fact that they are the Premier League champions as well, and there's now this new era after Jurgen Klopp, because a lot of players who maybe, you know, thinking a couple of years ago, if I go there, if Klopp goes, what might happen? It's always going to be an attractive club, but even more so now with winning the Premier League title and the feeling, the momentum around the club is absolutely fantastic. So I think a lot of players would give their right arm to play for Liverpool.
So you said that they might be looking for a new striker. Who do you think is going to lead the line for Liverpool? And very quickly, just because I'm Italian, Federico Chiesa. He's not going to get a look in. With Mohamed Salah staying, there's no chance this guy plays.
Yeah, it hasn't been fantastic. I thought it was interesting, though, Matteo, that he came on Saturday because he needs 5 appearances, doesn't he, to get a medal, which is a nice touch. Yeah, he isn't going to get a look in. Let's be honest. But I don't know how fit he is either. So he is a player who's had injuries before. Who will they go for as a striker? Well, again, it's what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody who can run in behind, somebody more of a spearhead, because the way they operate with the 3, the way they rotate as well, they're going to have their pick, to a degree. Everybody wants Isak. Whether or not they can afford him or attract him is a completely different kettle of fish. But it's going to be certainly a player of top calibre.
Geoff, how do Liverpool follow up this Premier League title winning season? Because this was a team that no one was really talking about ahead of this season. They of course got knocked out of Champions League and other competitions as well. And let's be honest, there were quite a few teams that just weren't at their best when they needed to be in the Premier League and didn't necessarily put a ton of pressure on Liverpool for some stretches, especially in this final run. So how do you expect them to follow this up? Are there more trophies on the horizon in the coming season?
You're quite right. Outside of their supporters and their players, nobody was talking about them for the Premier League title. It was all about, how will they react after an icon, after Jurgen Klopp left? What would happen? Everybody's fearing another Arsene Wenger or Sir Alex Ferguson situation. And it's great credit to the club's owners that they didn't allow that to happen. But, of course, now, once you become the champions, the target on your back has just got a little bit bigger. There is the pressure there. You're the reigning champions. You're one of the fancied teams as well. So it's going to be tougher for them, but they will feel the best way to follow it up is with another title or with another big trophy as well. And that's what they'll be aiming at. They'll set the standards high, and this will give them the belief that they can do it. And there's no reason why they shouldn't. There's no reason why they shouldn't believe. And just think of this really smooth running machine they have right now. If they can add 1 or 2 players that takes the level up, they're going to take some stopping. It's as simple as that. Even with Manchester City's resurgence and rebuild, which we're seeing, Chelsea, I'm never quite sure what to make of them. And there are question marks about Arsenal right now as to exactly where they are and what they're doing.
What is the question mark over Trent Alexander-Arnold's legacy as a Liverpool football player when the dust has settled and it's all said and done?
Lahoud, you have to understand, obviously you and I, we're not Liverpool fans. So that the fans look at it from an emotional point of view because they're invested emotionally, so they should be. It's the team they support. Some Liverpool fans feel that he should have stayed, period, because they don't want to see a local boy leaving. They want him to stay at their club, and they don't, they think all the challenge can be met at Liverpool and all his aspirations can be met at Liverpool. That's fair enough. There are some fans who feel that he should have signed a 1-year contract or put himself in a position where the club could get a large fee for him, so that would help the club going forwards. There's also a large number of Liverpool fans who say, well, to be honest with you, good luck to the lad, well done, appreciate everything you've done for us. So it's a mixture, I would say. You tend to read about the negative ones, they make the most noise, but I would say it is a mixture. His legacy at the club, well, look, he's at the club for 20 years. You see those pictures of him in his mum's stroller, in his Liverpool kit. That's how long he's been at the club. He departs with 64 assists, which is the highest for a defender in the Premier League. He scores some fantastic goals for them, and often important goals, and when either Liverpool were trailing or he's come to the fore when they've really, really needed it. And of course, the way he plays, it's beyond a wand of a right foot, and he can cross it with his left foot. Some of the passes he's made as well, through the eye of a needle stuff. So, I think that's going to be an interesting aspect if it is Real Madrid, what they see in him. There's talk about him replacing Danny Carvajal. Now, we don't know how he will come back after that terrible, terrible injury. But if Trent does play as a right back, I think it'll be more as one who does come into midfield, because since Toni Kroos left, they haven't had somebody who can spray the ball around, who can hit those passes. So a more advanced role could well suit Trent very well at Real Madrid. But we don't even know who the manager's going to be next season. So there's a lot of question marks there, but there's certainly enough to believe that if he did go there, he could make a real go of it.